SOMA is best known for existential crisis and questions about consciousness and identity. But that's not really the journey that it takes you through. I just finished my first playthrough and SOMA does something much darker. And really, without you even noticing. This game slowly turns you into a life-taking menace. It trains you to look at human life as something that can be easily thrown away, with minimal consequences. It's a slow burn, and SOMA is able to do this in 3 steps. 1, you are made to decide who is allowed to live. 2, bodies become nothing more than packaging. 3, consciousness is just copy and pastable software. Not only does the game make you do number 1 and train you to believe numbers 2 and 3, but by the end of it, you have accepted it fully. You'll see why. Trust me. Waking up from a brain scan to find yourself in a weird, cold, metal room is enough to make anyone feel like they were the first to fall asleep at a sleepover. You have no idea where you are, how you got there, or what has been done to you. To make things worse, there's no one around to make sense of things. Your only company is this weird goo and these broken down robots. So since we're on our own, we have to search for answers, which brings us to a quiet control room. I'm not gonna lie to you folks, as a gamer, my intrusive thoughts come in the form of impulsive button presses. So when I meet this robot and I see that we can pull a cable that's connecting it to a control panel, I just did it. Zero hesitation. Oops. Yeah, so turns out this robot may have actually been alive. Honestly, this could be written off as a well-programmed human-like machine. A little more exploration takes us to another one. He is clearly aware and wants help.
What are you? Are you blind? It's me. Carl. Carl Semke. Okay, he's dead. He's dead.
However, there's no clear way to get him back to floating around. There's also only one lever in the room that can switch the power to the door that we need opened. So it becomes painfully clear that we're gonna have to do something to this robot. It sounded like a desperate, injured human, and it wanted me to help it survive. The game just taught me if I want to make it out of this hellhole, I gotta get used to valuing progress in my life more than everyone else's. For all we know, that robot used to be a human with kids that love to cook, etc. So far, I've had to devalue 2 lives, so to speak. But placing value on lives did not just stop with the robots. Shortly after you decide to kill this past human, you meet Amy in an abandoned tunnel, the first living human that you see. How do I know she's alive and aware?
They won't let me die. If you see Masters or Holland, tell them I need help, okay? Amy needs help.
But unfortunately for her, I kinda need that power that Amy is attached to that's keeping her alive. So, you know, I needed to unplug her from life support.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
I don't know. I want to go home.
I'm so sorry, Amy. So the lesson that the game started teaching me using robots was just hammered home by deciding the fate of a human. But the game wasn't done schooling me just yet. SOMA would be a great existential crisis game, even without all the monsters and icky stuff. But it's an existential horror game, and it does plenty to make sure you remember that. That goo that is all over this underwater facility, turns out it's AI that's hijacked organic soft tissue. You know, all the nasty, mushy human bits. That's hopefully not a sign of our future in real life. Let me clear something up for you. This AI actually does mean well, but it believes that the best way to save humanity is to literally never let humans die, even if that means infusing them with robotic parts. But do you think that that means that these creatures that are able to move around are going to help us out with launch an ark into space? You know, give humanity a don't put all your eggs into one basket approach to survival? Nah. These motherfuckers are fast, twitchy, disgusting, and naked. Specifically this one. These AI mutated monsters are some of the scariest that I've had the honor of running from in a horror game. That's not even the worst part about this whole Frankenpeenar situation. Given the fact that this AI had to be made by humans to exist in the first place, it's really no surprise that the creatures it make are evil and out to get you. Because we are talking about the same people that created the ability to copy a human's consciousness and put it in whatever the fuck. And what do they do with the bodies, might you ask? Well, the living one's nothing, really. At least, not as far as I noticed. I didn't notice anything. Unless you count the handful of people who did the deed themselves to make sure that they were alive on the Ark and not stuck in their bodies, doomed to die on the planet.
So close. Strohmeyer's gonna shut down the Ark project. It's not my fault people keep killing themselves.
But the bodies that already had their consciousness completely removed, those bodies are basically used as framing for new consciousness. Oh my god. Consciousness. Those bodies are basically used as framing for new consciousness that's built into them with robotics. Yes, this is technically still the AI and not the humans, but please remind me, who did the AI learn from? Might be a little bit of a stretch, but it's still a valid point. However, Catherine, who is a consciousness that's been uploaded onto my tool, helps validate this point when we need to get ourselves into a new diving suit. She's there with us when the suit that's activated causes the head of the body inside of it to be twisted and pulled right off. Not only did Catherine not negatively react, but she was almost excited that transferring Simon to the new suit would be easier.
If you think about it, we're actually incredibly lucky. We found a suit with an already dead body inside.
I'm still not crazy about this plan. It feels wrong.
Please, Simon, I can't give up on the Ark. I need this to work.
Ma'am, that was a deceased human being in that suit. What the flip, man? So it's safe to say that human bodies are not as valuable to these people. To them, human bodies are just lobster and crab shells that have to be cracked open to get to the good stuff. And I'm just realizing now as I'm saying that, we're underwater and lobster crabs. I didn't do that on purpose. The consciousness, on the other hand, that's the reason for the season. Sorry, the reason why we're going through all of this to launch Ark into space using a giant gun. Getting this bad boy into the giant gun that will hopefully shoot it into space is quite the task, but it is worth it assuming all things go well. The whole reason we're making these hard choices and risking our existence, walking across the sea floor and juking out abominations, is to get this machine full of brain scan templates, or people generated from their brain scans, into space to allow humanity to carry on. And also, obviously, so Simon can live. This is all about Simon. Are you surprised? Because you shouldn't be. However, this is the third way that SOMA makes you comfortable with viewing human lives as disposable. Once that brain scan is completed, the Word document that makes up the human being it's out of its packaging. At that point, you can copy and paste any person however many times you want. Catherine literally makes us do this when we have to get a cipher from a security staff member.
There should be a list of people. See if there's anyone who could know a security cipher.
Each time he wakes up, he's the same exact person, and he reacts in the same exact manner.
Bastard. That wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad.
Catherine has us run his brain scan over and over again, tweaking it each time, until we're able to trick him into thinking that we're his love interest, and he gives us the cipher.
Okay. It's 1729 over 42. 12 over 407.
If that's not good enough proof for you, going back to when we transferred to the new dive suit, Catherine left out the bitsy teensy weensy detail. You aren't actually being transferred from one suit to the other. Your consciousness is being copied and pasted into the robotics of the new suit.
There must be something wrong. Can't you run a diagnosis or something?
Before slipping into a long time EP time, the original, well, original, Simon is still talking, which causes new Simon to get pissed.
You realize how messed up this is?
Please, I didn't mean to upset you.
How did you expect me to react to this shit?
Please stop.
You're fucking disgusting. What's gonna happen to him?
He'll sleep for a while, a few days.
And then what? Wake up in this fucking nightmare again? All alone?
So Catherine gives him the option to make the old Simon not wake up. That way, he's not doomed to die a slow, lonely death. In her defense, this was my decision, not hers. She just gave me the means to do it. But at this point, life had been devalued so many times that this was honestly an easy decision for me. I felt horrible when I did it, but it did not take me long to decide. For the most part, we aren't really given any real choices if you actually want to be able to finish the game. However, this scenario and the one where we meet the last living human alive, and the one where we meet the last living human who asks us to turn off her life support, these are two very small portions of the game, but they are so powerful.
Get you anything? Do anything for you?
You could kill me.
Good one.
Please don't leave me like this. I still can't believe I'm the last one. It's crazy. Would you stay with me, please?
These two moments act as points in the game where you, as the player, not Simon, you are really made to think about the choices that you've been making. They are the points in the game where your one road splits into two. For different reasons, you're made to decide how much you value human life, whether it's a full physical human or a consciousness inside of a fleshy robot suit. Again, I've been numbed by the trauma of this journey so much that pulling the plug on the literal last human alive was a very easy decision. Plus, it didn't really seem right to make her die alone. Kinda cruel if you think about it. SOMA 100% does the existential stuff well, but in my modest opinion, having to choose between one bad option and another bad option is what naturally makes you think about how disposable human life could be. At least in a situation like this one. Don't worry, I'm not like secretly the Kellogg killer or anything. I'm not proud of that. All jokes aside, in a reality where the copy and pasting of people is a real thing that can happen, humans do become disposable. Like, incredibly easy to dispose of. Of course, there will always be the natural desire to preserve yourself and your family, but from an overseer's point of view, humans could be easily wiped and replaced. And God, this is making me think even more how terrifying that is. Could you imagine a government naturally forms an arc and they have the power to erase you? Not only erase you, but replace you with an exact copy, possibly even with obedience built in. Scary, scary stuff, and it really makes you think about how society in real life could easily take that kind of turn. But at the end of the day, it is a game. Try not to lose too much sleep over it. I'm here if you need me. Drop a comment. I am a real person. I am not AI. I am not a consciousness uploaded to my computer. Trust me on that one.